Get to it. Stefan Nicholas clears it. 5 seconds left. Alvy Kaufman forward from the goalkeeper spot, and the game is called. And the Bulldogs are the 6A District 7 champions.
Good evening, everybody. Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network, and it is that time of the year again where we hand out our winter sports awards. We've named all of our basketball awards, and we have embarked on naming our soccer awards. We've named the Girls Soccer Coach of the Year, and Ryan Weldon from Satellite, and joining me here tonight is our Boys Soccer Coach of the Year. He has been with the Melbourne Bulldogs program an extremely long time. I believe since 1997. He's been there through all of the state championships, and this past season went 13-5-2 overall, won a district championship, and please help me welcome here tonight for the first time in the Brevard Sports Network studios via video link, the head coach for the Melbourne Bulldogs, Doug Bonney. Coach, how are you? And happy holiday weekend to you, Coach.
Thanks. Same to you, and I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, well, first of all, we want to say congratulations, Coach, and let's take a look here. First of all, 1997, I have that correct, right?
Yes, yeah.
That's a long time to be with one program, Coach, especially in the state of Florida, when we hear so often, I got this thing from the Florida Coaches Coalition, who are battling for more pay for coaches across the state, and we see coaches moving from one school to another almost weekly in the various sports. Coach, what's kept you at Melbourne for the time period that you've been there?
I started in 97. I was teaching here, and I coached the JV boys program with Jerry McCabe, and he and I just clicked really well as coaches, and he and I have been coaching since then, and we just make a great team. I really enjoy working with the kids at Melbourne High School, and it just, it was a learning experience for me working with Jerry for all those beginning years, and all of my boys have gone to school here at Mel High, and we just have a great tradition of soccer. So it's just once you get in, it's hard to leave.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Coach, I think that's the thing. I think you said it right there, the great tradition of Melbourne soccer, and the program as a whole, 9 state championships, 4 of them to the boys. It really has been quite a ride for the Melbourne soccer program. Let's talk about the 2023-2024 team, Coach. You had that opening match loss there against Cocoa Beach, that 3-2 loss. What was kind of the feel of the team at that point right there?
We had lost quite a few seniors from the year before, and we were just trying to find the right personnel in the right spots. And it was one of those games that everything went wrong, and we just kind of looked at each other and went, wow, this is going to be a long season. And but fortunately, the boys learned from it. They bounced back, and we figured things out as we went along.
You get those wins over Space Coast, West Shore, nice 2-1 win over Vero Beach, and you get that 1-1 tie with Satellite. Sometimes you can learn more about your team in a tie and a loss than you can a win. Over that next stretch, when did you realize that, hey, you know what? I think that, even though we've lost these players, these guys have got it, and we're going to be okay this year?
It was about that time that we started to figure out where different players really fit in. Because like I said, we lost a lot of seniors, so there was a lot of open positions to fill. And it's always a puzzle that you're trying to solve. And sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. But right around then, things started to click, and we started to really get to feel our identity. And then we went to the Tampa prep tournament in January, and that's when everything just came together. I thought that was a great opportunity for the boys to spend some time together and focus on soccer and bonding, and we really, really figured out how to play together and ended up winning that tournament, only giving up 1 goal, and we scored at least 3 goals in each game. So that's when everything came together at that point and really helped us get ahead of steam going into the district playoffs.
Yeah, here with the Brevard Sports Network 2024 Boys Soccer Coach of the Year, Doug Bonney. Coach, I want to ask you about some of your players. Scheduled to return. You get 3 of your 4 scoring leaders back next season. But I think the thing that Max Preps always, they just overlook in terms of allowing coaches to put these type of statistics in is
Probably mispronounced his last name, but he was our team captain, and he led on the field as well as off the field, and he really organized the back line, which everyone on the back line was new this year, so that was just something that took a little while to get sorted out, but he was an incredible leader. And Aiden Reed playing in goal behind him, he had some incredible saves. And once we moved RJ Jackson out to left back, that really solidified things, and moving Ethan Goby over to the right just really helped us, on the attacking end too. So they really helped give 2 dimensions to our defense.
Coach, let's go to, because I'm looking at the schedule here, and you had that 3-1 loss to Vieira, and then that 1-0 loss to Bayside, and then you get into the district tournament. You get to that district championship match. 22 minutes to play in the match. The team is trailing 2-0, and they're not just trailing. You guys aren't just trailing 2-0 to some team that from down south or from up north or from, you're trailing to the team that has won 33 straight against this county, the defending state champs. What are you telling your guys at that point, down 2-0?
We went in at halftime and just kind of looked at the overall play of the game, and it was one of those things that I just said to the guys, this is a game that we can get back in. If we finish our chances, this is a game that we can tie up and force it to overtime. We just need to grab 1 goal. And the momentum really switched when we went out in the second half and got that first goal. And the belief just, built up in the boys and grabbed that second goal. And then when the third one in, I was just amazed at how resilient the team was, and I looked at one of the other coaches and said, "We're actually going to win this." And it was just amazing how they worked together and believed in each other.
It felt so appropriate that it would be, Melbourne to beat Vieira. I mean, it's been such a great rivalry, Coach. At least since I've been covering high school soccer here in Brevard County, and I'm sure it was before then. After they had scored that first goal, it looked like they were going to go up 3-1, and Aiden made that terrific save, in which you guys came right back down in transition and were able to score. But Coach, as you look at this team and you are scheduled to get 3 of your 4 leading scorers back, a win like that, obviously, you go in, you get that 4-1 win over St. Cloud, you win a regional quarterfinal game. New Smyrna Beach is a very good soccer team this year. Where do you kind of feel like that win positions this club moving forward with the guys you have coming back?
Well, Melbourne's always traditionally a good team, and we always seem to have a target on our back. With the guys coming back next year, we're definitely going to be able to score goals. So, again, we graduated our entire back line, so that's something that we're going to have to work on again. And I think that the tide has kind of turned a little bit with in the Vieira matchup. They are an incredible team, but now they're going through the situation where they're graduating another year of seniors. So It's going to be very interesting next year, that matchup. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see if we can, shore up our back line and keep scoring a lot of goals. And hopefully we'll be as successful or more successful next year.
Coach, I've had this conversation a lot over the last 2 years with, say, Coach Eddie El-Shahibi from, Edgewood when he was there, and Kevin Smith and Cal Dixon and others about the state of girls soccer here in Brevard County. And when you look at the state of soccer in Brevard County, I mean, we had 19 teams between the boys programs and the girls programs this year reach the FHSAA state tournament. No other sport could claim double digits like that. And it's really quite incredible to watch how successful soccer has become in this county. Talk a little bit about the state of boys soccer in your eyes in Brevard County.
To piggyback on what you said, I moved here in '97 from North Carolina, and I was absolutely amazed at how such a small town as Melbourne was so competitive 20, 30 years ago in soccer, and we have just continued through the club teams in the area to build on that. The boys soccer now the talent is still coming through. We have excellent feeder clubs here. The high schools are very competitive, and it's one of the most competitive districts in the state. So it's just, even in the Cape Coast Conference, we have so many teams that are very competitive, and I think that benefits everyone having that high level of soccer in such a close proximity.
Where do you coach at club-wise?
I'm with Brevard Soccer Alliance.
Tell us about it.
I'm the goalkeeper director there, so I work with all the goalkeepers, helping develop them as I'm a goalkeeper myself. And it's a great club that helps develop players, and we have several of the players that have come up through the BSA club that are playing on Mel High. Space Coast is another one that we have several players from. So it's all the clubs really help develop the players and bring them to the high school level, prepared to play at a very demanding physical level.
I don't think people understand how hard it is to play keeper in soccer. I mean, look, the angles. What's the hardest part? Obviously, aside from keeping the ball out of the net, but I mean, when you're teaching that position to somebody, who's coming along that wants to be a keeper, that has the tenacity, the skills, the athleticism to do it, what are one or two things that you're going to tell them right out of the gate they need to know about being a keeper in the sport?
Well, they always say that goalkeepers are a little mentally off because you have to be. You got to be a little crazy. The biggest thing is it's such a mental game, because if you make one mistake, a goal can go in. Everyone else on the field can make a couple mistakes, and someone else is there to bail them out. But as a goalkeeper, you've got to be mentally strong. You've got to be a leader, and you've got to be able to bounce back if a goal does go in, to be able to keep playing and not get wrapped up in your one mistake. So that's the biggest thing, is just the mental aspects of being a goalkeeper.
Coach, I played hockey, and I can tell you this, the same thing for the goalies on my team. They were always a little, I don't know, I didn't even know how to describe them. They, obviously they were great teammates, but when we got on a bus or when we were at a team function, it was just something different about them. And they always, to me, goalies at lacrosse too, always seem to be dialed in a little bit differently with their surroundings. I don't know whether it's constantly with the vision, the mentality, but you hit the nail on the head there. That's for sure. And I'll tell you another thing I noticed about goalies: creatures of habit, Coach.
Yeah.
I know such creatures of habit. My goodness, if our goaltender would clean his ice before or scrape his crease, and you skated through that, you were in trouble. That's for sure. But Coach, listen, congratulations on an outstanding season. This was a team that I think we, I know we were able to watch a lot on 321 Sportscast this year, and then we finally, at the end of the year, joined with them to be able to broadcast. And this was a team that got immensely better as the season went on, and that win over Vieira was the best game in the county this year, hands down, and a well-deserved match win. And this is an honor that's well-deserved for you, Coach. Congratulations, and thank you for taking a couple of minutes to join us here today.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate everything that you do for Brevard County, for the sports. I think it's really important that the teams and players get the recognition. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. So that'll wrap it up here tonight with Coach Doug Bonney for our 2023 BSN Boys Soccer Coach of the Year. Doug Bonney, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network.